The chessboard. For years, the nation had been locked in a silent war of strategy, a 3D chess match between President Tavian and a shadow network buried deep inside the opposition party. Every bill, every scandal, every leak was another piece moved across the invisible board. But Tavian wasn't just playing chess. He was executing a grander design known as the Pyramid Plan. The plan started with broad, simple moves that pleased everyone at the base, then narrowed as pressure increased, each level revealing new adversaries and secret alliances. By the time Tavian reached the apex, only the true conspirators remained. No one realized that the real objective wasn't power. It was revelation, to expose the true architects behind the decay of the Republic. The insurrectionist governor. In the heart of the industrial Midwest, a state long plagued by corruption became the crucible. Its governor, once a populist hero, had secretly marshaled a force of domestic insurgents, believing he was chosen to liberate his people from what he called federal tyranny. But the president had already anticipated every move through the pyramid plan. When the final gambit played out, drones descended on the governor's mansion. The world watched live as federal marshals arrested him and his inner circle. The president appeared on every screen, solemn yet resolute. No leader stands above the republic. No state stands outside the law. Tonight, we restore what they tried to destroy. The new capital. In a bold and symbolic act, President Tavian announced the relocation of the national capital to that very same state. Construction began immediately, surrounded by a 200-mile defensive perimeter of checkpoints, orbital surveillance, and quantum-encrypted networks. The message was clear. This will be the heart of the new America. Critics called it madness. Supporters called it destiny. But beneath the rebuilding, whispers spread. The insurrection wasn't dead. It was regrouping. The return of the shadow. Months later, as the new capital's grand dome rose against the horizon, insurgent forces struck. Former National Guard units turned rogue. AI-piloted drones hacked by the opposition swarmed federal convoys. The rebellion called itself the Covenant of State Sovereignty. Their leader, the deposed governor, had escaped custody during transport and was rallying his followers under a single flag: Reclaim the Republic. The siege. The president activated Operation Sentinel, the plan that had been in motion since the first chess game years before, the final stage of the Pyramid Plan. He descended personally to the command bunker beneath the new capital, Fort Union Prime, surrounded by generals, cyber strategists, and a handful of trusted allies known only as the Guardians. The perimeter walls ignited as enemy armor approached. Electromagnetic barricades flared blue across the night. From orbit, defense satellites aligned like constellations of steel. Then came the broadcast, the president's voice over every frequency. The Republic endures. Every generation must fight to defend it, some with words, some with fire. Tonight, we do both. The battle for the Republic. The final confrontation erupted across cities and fields within the 200-mile defense ring. AI artillery met swarms of insurgent drones. Civilians were evacuated through mag-rail corridors as guardians on hoverbikes swept the skies. At dawn, President Tavian led the charge from the command deck, activating the Sol network, a solar fusion defense grid capable of disabling every hostile machine in the theater. The governor's last transmission crackled through the static. "You can't arrest an idea." The president replied simply, "Then I'll redeem it." The Sol network unleashed a blinding pulse, a flare that lit the sky like a second sunrise. The rebellion's systems collapsed instantly. The capital stood untouched. The final move. When the dust settled, the chessboard was cleared. President Tavian visited the ruined state house where it all began. He placed a single white king piece on the podium, symbol of victory, but also warning. The Republic is not a game, he said quietly. But if it were, checkmate. The story closes with a panoramic shot from orbit, the glowing perimeter of the new capital forming a perfect circle of light, the sentinel ring guarding the reborn republic from the shadows that will always try to return.